Slack is by far the best messaging app that almost every single tech company uses it. Not just tech companies, but in general, everybody uses Slack. It's amazing. And what I love about Slack is they have lots of integration where we software engineers can build really cool automations using Slack. So go ahead and download and install Slack. It's absolutely for free. You can have your own account where you can invite people into channels, and basically you can, start sharing ideas. But Slack is what most people use, and I'm pretty sure that you will use or you have been using Slack. And if you don't know the power of Slack, then let me show you what Slack can do. Now, for us, we want to be able to send messages from our GitHub action. So what we need to do is, so in here, you can see that this is my Slack workspace and it's called Amigos code. And basically, once you have Slack downloaded and installed in your machine, you should see something very similar to this, right? But might want to actually customize. So if I go into preferences, you can customize the theme. So you can have a dark theme, and in here you can change the look and feel, so on and so forth, right? So let me just stick with the one that I have in here. But what I want to do here is I want to click on this drop down and then go to settings and administration, and then in here, manage apps. So in this page, if I zoom in a little bit, what I want to do, so basically you can see that I already have a couple of apps installed into my Slack account right here. So we have Giphy. So basically, if I go to Slack in here, I can say, for example, Giphy and then beans, for example. So Giphy and then actually / Giphy and then beans. I use this one quite a lot, beans, and you'll see that it's super fun. Oh, actually, not even this one. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not coming up, but there's one really fun. But basically, you see that you can have lots of these random GIFs, right? And all of that is managed through apps. So I also have a GitHub integration, Google Drive, so on and so forth. But what I want to do here is to create an app that we can then use ourselves. So in here, click on build, and then you can see this is the link. So api/slack.com/apps. And here I'm going to create an app. I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to say git and then app and then actions. And you can change it later if you want. And then here, development Slack workspace. So this is my workspace. So Amigos code, and then create app. Now we can configure a bunch of things, including bots, slash commands, so on and so forth. But what I'm interested here is to have the incoming webhooks. And also, if I scroll down, basically, let me just show you that we can basically add an image. So let me just add a logo here. So this is my logo right here. Maybe you could have a better logo, but that will do. And there we go. So this is the image, and you can also delete an app, so on and so forth. But what I want to do here is, and you can see a bunch of app credentials, including the client ID, the secret, and the sign-in secret. So here, what I want to do is I want to create an incoming webhook, and you'll see this in a second. Now I'm going to toggle that on. And now, basically, you can see that it says no webhooks have been added yet. So here, let me say add new webhook to workspace. And there we go. So adding Amigos code into Amigos code, and the logo is the same. And the channel, so for the channel, I'm going to say build and then software. So in here, I went ahead and say, so add channels, create a channel, and then you can create the channel name, right? So the one that I have is this one, software builds and then deployment. So here, so software builds and deployments, actually this one. and then say allow. And there we go. So that was successful. If I go back, you can see that. So Amigos Code added in an integration to this channel, GitHub Actions. So this is cool. Now, if I go back for a second, you can see that we have this curl command. So I'm going to copy this and then open up any terminal. So let me just use the one within IntelliJ. So terminal, and then I'm going to paste that command and then send. You can see that I did have a message. Let me just do it again, paste again. There we go. So this is just sending a message to our channel. So hello world. So if I go back to Slack and check this out. So hello world twice because I sent it twice. And you can see the logo for our action in here. So maybe this should be something better, but you get the point. So now what we're going to do is the following. So let me just go back in here. So in here, so this is what we need. So this webhook URL. So I'm going to copy this and then go back to GitHub, and inside of Amigos Code and then Spring Boot full stack professional repo or whatever repo that you are working in, go to settings. And then in here, if I scroll down, I can go to secrets. And here I'm going to say new repository secret. So I want this to be a secret. And here for the name, I'm going to say Slack webhook URL. And then the value will be this one here. So obviously I'm actually showing you this value, but you shouldn't really show this to no one because otherwise people can just send messages into your Slack channels. But obviously I'm going to delete this application, then this link will not work for you. But this is a secret that no one should have access to it. And then I'm going to show you later how do we reference the Slack webhook URL. So now I'm going to add a secret. And in here, you can see that we have Slack webhook URL. So this is cool. So now that we have this Slack webhook URL, so in here, we have the Slack configured already. Then we also need to configure Docker login. So basically we need to have our username and password. And next, let me go ahead and add a secret for my GitHub account so that this step can perform a login.